In today's video, I want to share with you a story of where it appeared that I would not be able to lift weights or train for months, and along with that, a full day of eating. So stick around to find out what I learned. Welcome to DadBod Fitness. If you and I are just meeting, my name is David, and if you're a parent or especially a dad who's looking to stay fit and to build some muscle, you will find great tips and great strategies on this channel for helping you to reach your fitness goals. I want to inspire your change. I want to motivate your transformation, and I want to help you share that adventure with your family. So if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. Let's jump into the video. I was up at 3:15 a.m. Wanted to kick myself when the alarm went off, but so be it. I had to get up this early because I wanted to get in my workout and I needed to edit today. I drive to my brother's house in order to edit because he's the film guy. He's got phenomenal software and his wife does photography. So I have to drive out here in order to edit so that I can upload these videos for you. So usually about 3 days a week, I'm up at like somewhere around 3:30ish so that I can get my workout in, take off to my brother's to edit for a couple hours before I have to run home, get set up, and then head to work. Glasses are on, so for me, that means most likely I'm working. As always, I've got my black coffee and my water, and this is what I brought for coffee. All right, now don't let it fool you. My mom got me this when my daughter was born. So parents out there, you probably have something similar to this. Got my steel straw, which recommendation, if you ever get steel straws, don't get the ones that don't have the rubber tips. I swear I've like knocked my teeth enough that it feels like I chipped it. It's about half filled with coffee. The rest is ice, because during the summer I really like to do iced coffee. I actually tried this really cheap coffee. I am blanking on the name right now. This is a cinnamon hazelnut. I do black coffee, but I am a flavored coffee guy, so I like to have some sort of flavor in it. I'm not crazy about the Folgers and all that kind of stuff. I'm blanking on the name right now, but I'm gonna put the link in the description. Really cheap. It was like $4 for, you know, a standard bag of ground coffee. Really cheap. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to try it out. This was the cinnamon hazelnut flavor, but they have a whole bunch of other flavors. All right, let's get this going. All right, done editing for the morning. So I had a big chunk of time, worked a little bit extra yesterday so that I could have like a 3.5 hour chunk of editing today, which is usually about double what I get. So I kept like really focused. Little tip, when trying to be productive, bigger blocks of time I think definitely do make a difference. It's all done, locked to the bag, gonna post it tomorrow, can't wait. Now, I'm off to the big city because I have a doctor's appointment. I have to go see a surgeon, and in just a minute I want to tell you why. All right, I just made it here, a little shaky. My body's just feeling a little off, a little on edge. I'm a little nervous, trying not to be anxious. But here we go. I'm gonna go find out what the deal is. So I'm at the hospital to meet with a surgeon today because probably about 4 or 5 months ago now, it's back sometime in February, during one of my back workouts, I was doing a reverse grip bent over row with dumbbells, and during one of the movements I felt like a roll, or a roll is the best way I can describe it, in the right side of my abs, lower abs, kind of groin. To me, my first instinct was to get worried because it could be a hernia. I've had a hernia about 9 years ago now on my right side. I have a big old scar there. It's not terrible, but I do have a scar there from the repair. So that was back when I was in college, and that was not an enjoyable process to go through. Hated having to do the surgery. It makes me nervous anyways. I don't do well with blood or hospitals. And I mean, it hurts afterwards. You know, you're in pain, you can't really walk. It took some time, and then I still couldn't lift anything, like anything over 5 pounds for, it feels like it was almost 3 months. I had to get a rolly backpack to go back to school because I couldn't even lift all my books because they were too heavy. And when I did lift something like that, like it pulled and it hurt because I had to work the muscle back up. The symptoms that I was feeling just didn't go away. I ended up going to see my primary care physician, sent me to get an ultrasound. That came back inconclusive. 2 months later, it still didn't seem like it was getting any better. If anything, it got a little bit worse. So he referred me to this surgeon. So because now I'm so heavy into weightlifting and it's truly like my joy, it was incredibly fearful to think that I could have that, then be out of work because I'm in construction and I'm self-employed. So I'd be out of work, not be able to work out, and it just would be massively disruptive to my life, which I want to be able to be okay with and handle better in the future. I mean, it's not a fun thing, you know, to have to give up one of your passions for quite a long time just to recover and then have to rebuild all the strength that I've gained. Worse than that, though, was the fact that I'm self-employed and that when I don't work, I don't make money. So in construction, it's very difficult to not lift things. Oh my gosh, okay, that's done. I still feel my heart beating. The bottom line is essentially what I have going on is most likely a muscle pull. It's a muscle pull in my groin. A lot of the stuff online as far as hernias goes, they all indicate that there's like a heaviness and pain and something like that, especially when bending over and all these different things. The surgeon I just saw, he's pretty confident it's definitely not a hernia. Seriously, praise God that I don't have to have surgery again. So I am literally overjoyed that that's not what it is. However, I still have some sort of pull that I now need to figure out how to resolve. So hopefully I can give you guys some encouragement and tips in the future on how to resolve a muscle pull in your groin. I'm going to be doing some research to figure out how to fix this because it's not getting any better. Now I'm headed home. I've been inadvertently, I should say, intermittent fasting today because I wanted to get to editing and I just really didn't have time last night or this morning to try and make something to bring for breakfast. Even though I am bulking and I try not to intermittent fast after I've worked out. However, I wanted to get work done and then I had to come out here, so I figured I'd just fast, make it simple. I'm gonna go home, have a nice good meal, touch base with my wife, hug my kids, then head to work. Because I'm self-employed and right now I'm not making money. Here's my first meal, breaking my fast, and it's really my post-workout meal. So it was about a 16, 17 hour fast. So what I have here is 5 servings of egg white, and then there was 1 egg yolk. Then I have probably about a quarter to a third cup of avocado, 4 pieces of whole wheat bread, and a banana. In the meal that I had to break my fast, I had carbs, protein, and fats. Now, I've done a lot of research too, trying to figure out what is the best way to break a fast. And here, this was a fast post-workout as well. So my cells will be hypersensitive to receive any kind of nutrients. Because you're fasting, your insulin's super low, blood sugar's low. Your muscles are like waiting and ready to receive some sort of nutrient. So it's not ideal, especially when I'm on a bulk. That's really not how I prefer to do it because I want to make sure I can capitalize on some protein synthesis. So if I have something in me, the recommendations I've seen, as long as you're within a couple hours after your workout, then you're probably fine. Ultimately, it boils down to, are you eating enough calories for your goal, whether it's weight loss or muscle gain? As long as you're doing that, getting the right nutrients, I try not to worry too much about nutrition timing. Also, about breaking a fast, I've seen one YouTuber in particular say that you should only break a fast and eat post-workout carbs and protein, or fat and protein, which I've seen them contradict themselves in previous videos, so I don't really follow that, only sometimes. It makes sense because when the cell doors are open and they're ready to receive nutrients, insulin, you know, as soon as you have some sort of carbohydrate that's gonna spike your insulin, then any nutrients are gonna flow into the cell that you're ingesting. So ideally you want the protein, wow, it's getting hot, the protein to flow into the cell. But if you're eating it with carbs and fats, then the fats are going to get stored in the cell as well. That's ultimately why they say don't eat carbs and fats together post-workout or after a fast, because the carbs are going to spike your insulin and then it's going to store the fat. However, to me, it doesn't really matter. What matters, the bottom line, is energy balance. So if you're in energy balance, it's not going to really matter that much. And here's the deal. Here I was dealing with what I thought was a hernia, thinking, okay, I could potentially not be able to work out for like up to like 2 or 3 months. Thinking about losing that much progress was really difficult for me. And I had to try and put it into the perspective of this is long term. Changing your physique is not a fast process. It's a slow process, and it's change over time. It's slow progression. I am like drenched here. I don't want to turn on the AC yet because it'll be too loud. So what I have to remember is that these small things where I'm intermittent fasting today, you know, when I really should have had a meal probably sooner after I worked out, but it just didn't work out. It made more sense to skip. I can't let that sidetrack me. And having to think so much about how I break my fast, especially when I'm trying to be efficient, get out the door and make money so I can feed my family, I can't worry myself that much about that. When I can, I will. You know, I'll try and do just carbs and protein or just fats and protein. But A lot of the information out there I've seen, they eat a balance of all three. I haven't seen any negative results from it, and I don't think you will, especially in the long run. Anyways, you're still gonna be moving towards your goal. Thinking about that in relation to potentially having a hernia, saying it's about the long picture, it's about years down the road, not just the few months that I might not have been able to work out. In the same sense, in terms of what I need to do on a day-to-day basis, I still have to let certain days go. Don't get too caught up in the minute details. All right, so in the process of me driving back from my last job, I ate my second meal and totally forgot to show you what I was eating. But essentially what I had was about a cup of low-fat cottage cheese, and then I do about 3/4 cup of frozen blueberries and about a cup of frozen strawberries, which is awesome, especially when you let it melt a little bit. I just realized I'm cooking eggs for my wife, and I need to be watching them. Then I also had about 3.5 ounces, well, maybe like 4 ounces of baby carrots with roughly 2 tablespoons of hummus. My lovely wife is headed out the door, and she made a delicious meal that I will show you as well. All right, here it is. All right, this is meal technically number 3. All right, so what we have here is a cup of brown rice, 2 whole eggs, it's about 3 ounces of ground beef, and then about, let's see, about 2 cups of green beans. We do like different seasonings on the green beans. I don't usually do oil unless I do them on the grill. Recently I've been doing coconut oil, which is phenomenal. Just a little trick there. Try coconut oil, a little garlic powder, a little onion powder, and a little salt, and then throw it in tinfoil on the grill. So I'll throw up the macros for this on the screen. This is one of my all-time favorite meals. I haven't actually had it in a while. Usually I just eat brown rice and egg whites, which is also just as good. So what I also did today, which I don't normally do, but every once in a while I'll do it, was I actually ate a few things that were kind of randomly laying around the house. Then I also had about a cup and a third of old Fruit Loops, Fruit Rounds rather, that were sitting in there, and I had the calories to spare, so I ate them. And then also my wife got these like avocado oil chips, which were really good, so I had about a serving of those. And then I had a few veggie straws. All these random little things. I don't normally do that. On intermittent fasting days, I do tend to eat a little more calorie dense things than I normally would. Things are sitting around. I don't like things to go to waste. Tell me if you can relate, dads, to when there's food sitting there, you just don't want to waste it, you just eat it, which can be your downfall. Adeline maybe took 2 bites of the fried egg that I made her. Doesn't look like she touched the ground beef, and Rylan didn't even touch it. Like, I can't get these kids, they're like camels. They'll eat a ton all at once and then they won't eat like at all. So parents, question of the day, what are your tactics? What are your tricks for getting your kids to actually eat? So then at 8:30, when I'm putting them into bed, after they brush their teeth, they're not going, Daddy, I'm hungry. So I'm prepping the final meal. It's LA. Okay, this is what I was talking about this morning. You can see it. There you go. Give that a try. New England Coffee is the brand. Cinnamon hazelnut. I found it at Walmart. Stuff's really good. I would highly recommend it. All right, so there it is. Final meal for the day. I'm not eating all of that. This is just a full pan of the amazing protein bar. So I'm gonna cut that up into a whole bunch of different bars. So I'll probably have like 2-ish. And then this is the tiny little mini personal pizza that my wife made. Don't normally have that, but I'm looking forward to it. And you cannot beat a tangerine lime seltzer water. Love seltzer water. All right, so I'm here, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna do a little work. Maybe look up a video too about how to like stretch out and try and release a pulled groin muscle. It just kind of hit me again. Like, I'm just so incredibly grateful and thankful that this was not a hernia. So I'm gonna eat, do a little bit of this work, and then go to bed where my air conditioner is running because it was like 90 today, and fall asleep and get up in about 5 or 6 hours, which is actually doing okay. I prefer 7. And then I'll start the process over tomorrow. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to stay up to date with all future content. So if you enjoyed that video, click or tap the screen right up over here to check out my bodybuilding strategies playlist that will enhance your fitness journey and also help you prevent injuries. Or click or tap the screen right up over here to check out my nutrition playlist. As always, be intentional and bring the intensity. And I can't wait to see you on the next video.